fight the war here. We know that the Russians are repaying them not only with money but also with technology, which in the end... And now North Korea sending its soldiers to Europe.
President Trump said, no more. We will reestablish deterrence, we will open freedom of navigation, and we will ultimately decimate the Houthis, which is exactly what we're doing as we speak from the beginning, overwhelmingly.
Why were those details shared on Signal, and how did you learn that at Germany?
The skies over Ukraine are constantly witnessing Russian aggression. The European side is uncomfortable with this situation. The West thinks that Russia will change its focus after Ukraine and spread its attack arrows to much wider areas. The Ukrainians are using F-16 and Mirage fighter jets to block Russia against this danger. It is obvious that the Ukrainian Air Force needs support against the large number of Russian MiG-35, Su-34, and Su-57 jets. The West is also of this mindset. In particular, the United Kingdom and Sweden have provided Air Force support to Poland, the most important NATO power in the region, in order to prevent Russia's expansion into Eastern Europe. A large number of Euro Typhoon and Gripen fighter jets are reportedly on their way to be deployed to Poland. This move by the UK and Sweden is a major setback for the Russian Air Force in the Baltics. The joint air policing mission is likely to severely restrict Russian fighter jets. We will now look at the details of this situation and discover how Russia is being pacified in terms of air power over Poland by the UK, one of the most important countries in Europe, and Sweden, one of the most powerful members of the Scandinavian geography. But first, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and give us a like to stay up to date with our content. The United Kingdom has sent 6 fighter jets to Poland as part of NATO's Advanced Air Patrol mission. The Typhoon fighter jets took off from Lossiemouth Air Base in the north of the United Kingdom. This is the first time the United Kingdom will work together with Swedish Gripen jets. The Swedish Air Force's 6 Saab JAS 39 Gripen multi-role fighter jets were deployed to Malbork Air Base in Poland, where they were integrated into NATO's defense posture in the Baltic region. The deployment of Swedish Gripen fighter jets is part of NATO's Enhanced Air Policing Initiative, a mission established in 2014 following Russia's annexation of Crimea. Enhanced Air Policing is a forward-looking operation designed to protect the integrity of NATO airspace in the eastern part of the alliance, particularly among front-line member states that share borders with Russia and Belarus. The operation also aims to demonstrate alliance solidarity and deter potential airspace violations or aggression close to NATO borders. Sweden's Gripen fighter jets will operate alongside the British Royal Air Force's Eurofighter Typhoons, deployed as part of the RAF's Operation Chessman. The Eurofighter Typhoon is a twin-engine, highly agile multi-role fighter, capable of both air superiority and ground attack missions. It is equipped with advanced radar and sensor systems and can carry a wide range of air-to-air and air-to-ground munitions. This makes it an ideal platform for air policing operations. Similarly, the Saab JAS-39 Gripen is a highly capable fourth-generation multi-role fighter aircraft, known for its agility, advanced avionics, and cost-effective operation. It is designed to operate in dispersed conditions and optimized for quick reaction missions. This makes it particularly suitable for NATO's air policing framework. Both aircraft types will operate under the command and control of the NATO Joint Air Operations Center in Jedem, Germany, which oversees air policing operations in Northern and Eastern Europe. The mission involves constant readiness to activate and intercept unauthorized or potentially hostile aircraft approaching or entering NATO airspace without proper authorization. Pilots are trained to quickly assess, identify, and, if necessary, escort foreign military or civilian aircraft, and ensure that NATO airspace remains secure. This joint deployment not only strengthens NATO's deterrence posture on the eastern flank, but also symbolizes Sweden's deepening integration into the alliance's defense architecture. Swedish Air Force Detachment Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Anders Gustafsson, said that we are ready to take the next step to further strengthen NATO's air defense in terms of deterrence and to build security in NATO airspace together with our British colleagues. His statements reflect Sweden's operational readiness and willingness to actively contribute to collective security. Air Commodore Jacob, commander of the RAF's 140th Expeditionary Squadron, said that we are here to defend and deter, ready to protect against any threat, and reassure our allies of the UK's commitment to NATO and the region. The collaborative nature of the deployment underlines NATO's commitment to interoperability and shared responsibility. This cooperation not only strengthens NATO's eastern flank, but also further secures Poland's airspace against potential Russian threats. Especially in the wake of the war in Ukraine, growing concerns that the Baltic states could be the next target have accelerated military preparations in the region. While the joint air patrols carried out in this framework aim to increase NATO's deterrence capacity, Poland is also strengthening its defense line with these steps. The emergence of Poland as the military power of the Baltics beyond the borders of Zelensky Gap and Kaliningrad, with more than 216,000 active personnel in 2024, is the clearest message of war preparedness in recent times. With this incredible number of soldiers and equipment, the Polish armed forces are the third largest army in NATO. Such a powerful army is the last opponent Russia would want to face as the war in Ukraine continues. The size of the Polish armed forces at the end of last year was about 190,000 personnel, including land, air, naval, special forces, and territorial defense forces. There has been recent talk that the number of soldiers in the Polish army could reach 300,000. Officials within the army argue that the main purpose of this planned increase is to prevent Russia from turning towards Poland after its invasion of Ukraine. This is what Warsaw is preparing for. It is known that the number of troops guarding Poland's eastern border will be increased from 6,000 to 8,000, and that an additional 9,000 rear guards are already in place. Some 40,000 additional experienced military personnel are already deployed along these troops, act as a blockade against possible attacks from Russia and Belarus. They are also said to be able to hit all strategic targets within a radius of 300 kilometers. This is likely to disappoint Russia. In order to secure itself in this war environment, the Warsaw government has also recently made incredible defense moves in strategic areas such as Belarus, Zelensky Gap, and Kaliningrad. At the end of the year, Poland will begin construction of the first elements of the Eastern Shield Defense Program in Belarus, Kaliningrad, and near the borders of the Zelensky Gap. Poland's Deputy Minister of National Defense stated that the Eastern Shield system will cover Pomerania, Warmia, Missouri, Lublin, Podlasie, and Podkarpacie voivodeships. The cost of this massive program will be more than $2.5 billion. These are among the most basic activities that undermine Russia's plans for a possible invasion. But Warsaw's moves are not limited to these. Polish officials have recently signaled dramatically that the border crossings with Belarus will be completely closed. Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski said that Poland does not rule out closing the two remaining border crossings with Belarus in order to counter the hybrid activities of the Alexander Lukashenko regime. If these gates are closed, Vladimir Putin could be faced with heavy economic deadbolts. At the moment, only the Terespol-Brest border crossing with Belarus is open for passenger transportation. And what would be Warsaw's military strategy if Russia, despite all these efforts and security measures, were to take action against Belarus and the Polish army? For this purpose, Warsaw has deployed South Korean K-2 tanks on the border lines. Poland has deployed K-2 Black Panther tanks manufactured by Hyundai Rotem in South Korea near the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad. This information, confirmed by Major Magdalena Kosinska, spokesperson for the 16th Pomeranian Mechanized Division, underlined Poland's determination to strengthen its defense capabilities amid growing regional tensions. The first batch of 7 K-2 tanks was delivered to the 9th Cavalry Brigade stationed in the city of Braniewo using special carriers. The official acceptance procedures for these tanks are being finalized in cooperation with South Korean representatives. Once officially integrated, the tanks will be equipped with the systems used by the Polish Army, including advanced communications equipment, to make them fully compatible with the National Operational Framework. Until now, the Braniewo Armored Cavalry Brigade has been using PT-91 tanks. The K-2 Black Panther tanks represent state-of-the-art technology designed according to the demands of modern warfare. Equipped with an active protection system, they are highly effective against missiles and anti-tank weapons. Their exceptional mobility allows them to maneuver quickly over difficult terrain such as swamps and sands. This is a critical capability for operations in the northern regions of Poland. In addition, the K-2 has advanced fire control and targeting systems that ensure precision and reliability in various combat conditions. Poland currently has 8 trained crews prepared by instructors from the 20th Mechanized Brigade, which guarantees immediate operational readiness. A second batch of tanks is expected in the near future, which will further increase the brigade's combat capabilities. This deployment is part of a broader agreement signed between Poland and South Korea in August 2022. The $3.4 billion contract covers the purchase of 180 Oprydy-2 tanks, marking a significant investment in Poland's defense modernization. Deliveries from South Korea began shortly after the signing of the agreement. With these tanks, Poland aims to stop Russia in Kaliningrad. In addition to the K-2 tanks, Polish main battle tanks, armored infantry vehicles, military trucks, and a large number of troops were deployed to command centers and military bases near the Belarusian border lines. 14 main battle tanks and an M88 armored recovery vehicle are on alert about 250 miles west of Poland's border with Ukraine. The Polish Army's air defenses have also been increased in areas close to these border lines. Currently, 2 pairs of Polish Air Force F-16 fighter jets and an Allied air tanker are on alert along the country's eastern border. The Polish government summarizes this state of alert very well. To avoid escalation, Mr. Andrzejczak argued that European countries should take the initiative into their own hands and make it clear to Russia that an attack on Poland or the Baltic states would be the beginning of a full-scale conflict. Mr. Andrzejczak believes this is the only way to deter the Kremlin from such aggression. To this end, Polish military officials say They have purchased 800 missiles with a range of up to 900 kilometers to counter a possible Russian attack. Warsaw wants to make Russia and Belarus even more passive by strengthening the Polish army with military equipment provided through agreements with its allies. In other words, Poland has been aggressively working to make its army the most powerful in Europe, increasing its military power, acquiring the latest weapon systems, and developing a significant arms industry, albeit at a high cost. Moreover, Poland is reinforcing its stance against Russian aggression by providing military support to Ukraine. Polish Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz announced that Poland is preparing to make its 46th donation to Ukraine, worth over 200 million euros, underlining the country's leading role in providing aid and reiterating its determination to continue supporting Kyiv. Kosiniak-Kamysz emphasized that Poland as a country is a leader in providing military assistance to Kyiv. According to the defense minister, in the early days of Russia's war against Ukraine, when some countries were wondering what to give and examining their stocks, Poland sent tanks, heavy equipment, and ammunition. It delivered everything that was possible. Speaking about Poland's 200 million euro donation, Kosiniak-Kamysz pointed out that this was more than some European countries had spent during the entire war. Warsaw will continue to support Ukraine, Kosiniak-Kamysz said, not only by providing military equipment and other resources, but also by training Ukrainian troops. According to the minister, Poland has trained 28,000 Ukrainian soldiers, about a third of the 80,000 to 90,000 trained by European Union countries. Now Warsaw is emphasizing deepening solidarity and relations with Ukraine, with a new $200 million aid. Ukraine's ambassador to Poland, Vasyl Bodnar, said the aid package should reach Ukraine by the end of the month. Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Poland has been the main hub for military and humanitarian aid to its neighbor. More than 90% of the aid to Ukraine comes through the Rzeszów-Jasionka airport in southeastern Poland. But what military resources has Poland transferred to Ukraine via this route or other routes? Poland sent T-72 tanks and BWP-1 infantry fighting vehicles, mostly in the spring, summer, and fall of 2022, when Ukraine needed them most. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Poland sent 14 MiG-29 fighter jets, 11 Mi-24 attack helicopters, 14 Leopard 2A4 main battle tanks, about 30 P-91 Twardey main battle tanks, and about 280 T-72 main battle tanks. The list also included 50 Rosomak APCs with HIPFIs, 30 turrets, about 400 BWP-1 armored fighting vehicles, 54 185mm KRAB self-propelled howitzers, about 30 122mm 2S1 Gwozdika self-propelled howitzers, and about 35 122mm BM-21 Grad MLRS systems. In fact, the number of military vehicles and equipment sent by Poland to Ukraine is not limited to these. The list goes on and on. The main reason for providing so much aid is Poland's desire to limit Russia's advances. That is why the government in Warsaw is fully supporting Ukraine. In addition to this support, the Polish wing also states that they will not remain unresponsive in case of any possible Russian aggression. Rajmund Andrzejczak, former chief of the Polish General Staff, said that Ukraine had given them a few years, and that if Russia won in Ukraine, there would be one Russian division in Lviv, one in Brest, and one in Hrodna. Rajmund Andrzejczak said that if Russian troops crossed the Lithuanian border, there would be an immediate response. Mr. Andrzejczak added that they would hit all strategic targets within a radius of 300 kilometers in the first minute. Not the first day. The Polish general even said that they could attack St. Petersburg directly, in a blatant threat to Russian President Vladimir Putin. To avoid escalation, Mr. Andrzejczak argued that European countries should take the initiative in their own hands and make it clear to Russia that an attack on Poland or the Baltic states would be the beginning of a full-scale conflict. Mr. Andrzejczak believes this is the only way to deter the Kremlin from such aggression. To this end, Polish military officials say they have purchased 800 missiles with a range of up to 900 kilometers to counter a possible Russian attack. In sum, both NATO's steps to strengthen its eastern flank and Poland's efforts to increase its military capacity send a clear message to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Another unjust and destructive invasion of Ukraine will not be tolerated. If the Kremlin's imperial ambitions extend beyond Ukraine's borders, it will find a more determined and better equipped alliance. Poland's troop buildup, modernization of its defense systems, and enhancement of its strategic deterrent are an important barrier against a possible Russian expansionism. Hopefully, these military preparations will only serve as a deterrent, and Europe will not become the stage for a new war. Thank you for watching.